Hello everybody and welcome to this brand new series here on the channel. So season starts in a month. We're playing Championship Manager 93 and we've decided to be Newcastle. It was a bit hard actually because I really wanted to be Peterborough because they're my team, but alas Newcastle was the one that was chosen. We've obviously got no top goal scorers. So hopefully everybody's going to enjoy this season. We've got, let's have a look. I'm just wondering what to do because I've got one or two players here that I don't remember and are probably not that good. Yeah, so right, one thing we will get set up straight away actually is our tactics. So number 4, go to midfield. Hang on, 2, 3, oh no, number 4 needs to be in defence. So number 8, we'll start off this way, goes to is it support? Yeah. Number 11 to attack. Number 5 to midfield. Number 7 centre. Alright, we need then to take that arrow off, and then number 7 is the same. There we go, and then 3, 4 and 2, so 2 needs to be centre and 3 needs to be centre. There we go. Oh, hang on, we've not got the attack sorted yet. 9 need, oh no, it's 11 that I want to the centre. There we go. So that's our formation. I think you'll agree it's going to concede a lot of goals, but I think you'll also agree, hopefully, it's going to score a lot of goals. We'll play long ball because the quicker they can get that ball from here up there, the better. So we'll play long ball. So we've done that. Alright, now we'll look at some penalty takers. We'll move Andy Cole up because he's our centre forward. We're only really going to be, well, we'll be playing with 3, but only 1, I think, genuine centre forward. We need to, another thing that we need to do as well is these are not that good. Sack him. Right, own search. Yeah, not ageist, don't care. Unemployed, yeah, not bothered. Unemployed, cheaper if we can get someone. Alright, withdrawn confident, that's who we're looking for. Excellent. Alright, sack. Basically, you bin these off as quick as possible, just purely because, although it's an early game, sort of from many, oh, he refused the offer. Oh, hang on. Was it you? Yeah, it was you. Do you want to come? Yeah, that's good. Because it was an early game in its day, but these actually do make quite a big difference. The scouts, not so much, because of how simple the transfer market is and how simple it is to sort of find and buy players. It doesn't make such a difference, but so it doesn't really matter about them. But those two, do make a big difference. Obviously, he's your coach, so you need a really good coach to basically make any sort of poor players half decent, and any good players brilliant players. And obviously, you need a good physio, because then when you get injuries, with a poor physio or a good physio, say, might get a hamstring injury, say, for example, that could be 11 weeks. With a superb physio, that will probably be reduced down to 6 or 7 weeks. So it does make a difference. And even in those 6 and 7 weeks, they sometimes can recover a little bit quicker than that still. So it does make a bit of a difference, that. But we'll sort the penalty takers out more when we get to what we want. But as for now, we need to pick a team. So number 1, well, that was fairly straightforward. So we'll put Tommy Writing. Oh, he's not available. Alright. For a goalkeeper, I always think influence is the best thing, but his influence nowhere near as good. But he's probably a better goalkeeper, and he played 13 times last year, whereas he played 33 times. So yeah, the computer agrees with me that he's a better keeper. But for now, we can't play him. So Cernacek goes in goal right now. The defence. So 2, 3, and 4. So number 2 is going to be. Let's have a look around. Who we got? Scott. 3, Steve Watson. 4. We need to just turn that off for a second. Let's have a look at him. Nope. His pace is not very good. His pace is not that great, but his tackling is pretty good. You can get away with playing left backs there as well. He's not very good. He's not bad. So actually what we'll do is we'll put him at number 2. And we'll put you at number 4. Right, the midfield. Just have to check my numbers 5, 6 and 7. So number 5, we'll go for Steve Howie. 6, Scott Sellers. And 7, who are we going to go for number 7? See, I want Lee Clark there. We'll put Bracewell in for a start. I might even put Beresford in defence. His pace is not that good, but he's a good passer, and because we're playing long ball, we need a fairly accurate passer in defence. So that's good. Number 8, Gavin Peacock. Number 9, Andrew Cole. Number 10, Rob Lee. And number 11, right. I was just there. We need to try and sell off a couple of players because the team's not too bad, but it does need a bit of a space. So we'll try and list him. Yeah, 800 grand will do. Just want to get rid of him, really. And then who else? Kevin Sheedy. Yeah, we'll get rid of him. Okay. Kevin Sheedy list. 150. Yeah, let's try for 2. Can always come down on that price. And then one more. Hello, you're only 20, are you? You're only worth 60,000. That's not really enough for me. 250,000. You're 30. 350,000 and you're 29. What about you? 150,000. You? 300,000. Not bad. We've got Kid Simons here. Oh, well, actually, that means you're out of the team then. You, 60,000. Barry Benison, we'd like to get him in the team as well if we could. Again, an £850,000 player. So he'd be back in and around the start of the season. Keep hold of him just for now. Anyway, that might be enough. We might be able to, but we do need to buy someone. So, racking my brains all the way back to 1993. Sorry, when I was first playing this game. Oh, he's injured. Don't think you can buy them when they're injured, can you? 900,000. Something I've got to look at. 200,000. Okay, so let's start off with 150,000. No, 170,000. Nope, 108,000. Accepted. Take a 2 year? No, he wants to come for a year. So, first signing is in. Let's skip now to another week. John Beresford resumes training. Lee Clark resumes match training. Joe Bousham resumes training. All positive stuff there. We might have to... Come on, please, someone bid for my players. Please, 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 please. Oh, okay, so we're going to have to move forward again then, because we can't really do much until we get to... until we get a space clear in the team. Did I just see Teddy Sheringham go there? Oh, Teddy Cunningham. Alright, we need... We'll just put Bouchamp in. Right, Beresford's now available as well. So, Scott Sellers, yeah. Let's just have a little look. So we've got Cernacek in goal. I'm sure that's who that's supposed to be. Because I don't ever remember Newcastle having a player called I'm sure that's supposed to be Cernacek, and they've just spelt that wrong, horribly. But Kit Simons, Watson, and then Scott, and then Howie, Sellers, and Bracewell, Peacock, Cole, and Bouchamp, number 11. But I would like to get John Beresford in the team, just because, as I say, he's got a very good, although he's quite sought after. So where are we going to put, so number 4, I think, for John Beresford. We can now get Lee Clark in the team as well, and we want him in the team. So who is going to have to, we've got Scott Sellers, Scott Howie, and Paul Bracewell. So Paul Bracewell can come out of the team. In comes Lee Clark. Very good. Right, now we'll do some subs. We'll do him. Yeah, I'll do. You don't need your subs all that often in this game, I find. You really could do with another midfield attack. And then goalkeeper we can't put in because that's him there. So as I say, we really need someone to start bidding for our players, because I've another couple of players in mind that I would like to get hold of, but it's not looking good, if I'm honest. Venison now resumes training, that's good. Ooh. Allow. Alright, do 650, see who comes up. 570. Yeah, do you know what, we'll take 570. Oh, darn it, I could have gone one higher. Okay, never mind. Supplier sold, that's what we needed to do. I want to get to a certain young man, if he will come, because he's at a rival. He might not. He's unhappy. Oh, perfect. Oh, hang on. How much? 200,000. Oh, yes. 1.1 million we're allowed to spend. So the coach is basically telling us that if we offered 250,000, we'd get it accepted. But I sort of start where I think. So we'll actually go to 200. And we'll go to 220. Yeah, there we go. A 2, yeah, that's fine, that's fine. So that's another midfielder in. Now then, we just need to sell one more player. One more player, and then we can get in either another defender or another midfield attack or a goalkeeper. Either or, not bothered. But we're coming to first game of the season. Here we go. Right, we need to take Scott Sellers out. Oh, hang on a minute. So number 5 is the centre. So number 5 is Greg Kavanagh. Sellers is number 6, so that becomes Lee Clark. No, it doesn't. It becomes Steve Howie. Yeah, becomes Steve Howie. And then number 14 we'll put Scott Sellers. Still not got a reserve goalie, so I can't really do anything about that. I don't know whether the game will let me put someone else in on the bench, even not in the bench, on the bench. We'll put Thompson if it does allow it. It does allow it. Here we go then. First game of the season. It's a goal for Newcastle. Smashed under Goff. Scored by Rob Lee. Well, that's the way you start off a new managerial career. With a goal in the first few seconds. So that's very nicely done. We're doing okay at the moment. We have 3 chances to their 0 chances. So we're looking very good. Oh, it's another goal for Newcastle. Crashed into the corner, scored by Andrew Cole. I'm telling you, if that man doesn't get 40 goals this season, I'm going to be sacking him. It's a brilliant goal for Newcastle. It's rammed under Goff. Scored by Rob Lee. So there we go. Those of you that saw me put Rob Lee up front thought, oh, what's he doing? Oh, I was an expert in my early teens at this game. I tell you what, I couldn't believe when I was going through the internet. I was looking for another game actually, and for some reason the website that it brought, oh, it's another goal for Newcastle, powered through a crowd. It's scored by Andrew Cole. Come on. Yeah, so I was looking for a particular game, and for whatever reason, completely nothing to do with my search. Oh, it's a goal for Portsmouth. It's rammed through a crowd. Scored by Guy Whittingham. Boo! Oh, here's Rob Lee. Goal for Newcastle. It's 5-1 at St James's Park. Well, that's a quality first game in charge of Newcastle. 5-1, 2 for Cole, 3 for Lee, none for Boucham, but that doesn't matter. Kavanagh and Boucham, yeah, they didn't have too bad a games. They got to settle in, so the board say it's a good result. But yeah, anyway, back to what I was telling you. All Posh drew 1-1 with Oxford actually there. I was so close, as I said before, about being Posh. I really wanted to be Posh, but Newcastle just tempts me. I don't know why. I'm not even that fond of Newcastle, if I'm honest. But every time I sort of start up a Football Manager game, I just instantly get drawn to Newcastle. Yeah, we might do later on if this series is a success, and we'll probably do it. Until we win everything, whether it's with Newcastle or whether it's with someone else, because there is the possibility that we could get sacked. I've never been sacked on the game, but always a first. But yeah, anyway, so I was looking for a different game, and the Google brought up a website that had nothing to do with the search that I was trying to do, and I just happened to click on it. And there's all these retro games from like the early 90s, well, the late 80s to the early 90s, coming up to the late 90s. But if I can remember correctly, it didn't go into the 2000s. And I can't remember the website's name, but I will check it out. And either somewhere in this video as I'm editing, I'll just put it up in writing and you'll be able to see, or I'll leave it in the I'll leave a link in the description. Yeah, so I sort of saw this and thought, oh wow, I used to play this, years ago as a kid, and I'd love to play it again. So I have done. I must admit, this is not the very first time that I've opened it. I have done a small run through. I was Peterborough actually. Got Posh into the Premier League and won 2 Coca-Cola Cups and an FA Cup, but didn't do anything else. But and no one bought our players, so let's just have a little look. Meaningless league table at this stage of the season, but we are top. We might not see that again, so I thought we'd come and have a look. And they've started off well. Right, we'll crack into the second game. There's one thing I like about this game over sort of like Football Manager or whatever, where you get bogged down in so much blooming detail and on. In the end, I do like literally 2 games, and I think, oh, do you know what? I've had enough. I can't be bothered. I'm not getting paid for this. So yeah, I tend to quit. But this game, I love it because you can just whiz through it. It's so good. Right, we've got Venison back as well now. He's on 90, so we'll give him another week. But we will put him on the bench because should we require a defender, then we can put him on the bench. But away to Brentford, to Griffin Park. I can't remember what their new stadium's called, but obviously Griffin Park is their old one. Goal for Newcastle, early doors again. It's buried in off the bar. Oh, but it won't count. The ref saw a handball. That's the one thing about this game that does annoy me. The amount of goals that I get disallowed compared to the computer team is unbelievable. Oh, it's Howie this time. Oh. He squanders the chance. Newcastle dominating, but they've not been able to put the ball in the net yet. Oh, it's Rob Lee. And he gets his 4th for the season, and Newcastle are up and running. Brentford just not in this game at the moment. Newcastle very, very dominant. 7 chances so far in this first half. Half-time score here at Griffin Park. Brentford 0, Newcastle United 1. So second half kicks off, no substitutes required on this game. Not unless you get an injury, then the substitutes are required, but otherwise don't bother. Because it makes absolutely no effect to your players whatsoever. It's funny that coaches and physios have a big effect on your players, but not substituting them and rotating them has no effect on your players whatsoever. Or it's a goal for Newcastle, it's a second, it's deflected into his own net, and it's scored by Marcus Gale. I think that's Marcus Gale anyway. I'm trying to remember footballers from, 30 some odd years ago. 2-0. It's a good result, actually. It's a good, solid away win, that one, away at Brentford. I don't think Brentford are going to be bothering us too much in terms of top of the table, but it's still a good result. A win's a win. Lee Clark only had a 5, so we'll keep an eye on that, just because he might be in the wrong position in midfield. Literally, if you get a player that's sort of getting that sort of rating week in, week out, when everybody else is getting that rating, he's probably in the wrong 3 positions of the midfield. So, it might be a case of just swapping him with Howie or even Kavanagh, and just seeing if that improves his performances, or just swapping him out for Sellers and making him think that he's lost his place in the team, and you bring him back and he'll play fine. So the video printer, remember that on Grandstand back in 1993? I used to love Grandstand. Well, Peterborough 3, Derby 1. That's a great result for Posh's first home game of the season. They've got some right throwbacks to 92, I think it was when I started going to Peterborough. They were in Division 1, or was it 94? It could have been 94 actually, because I think 92, 93 was the playoffs against Huddersfield, or maybe not, because Huddersfield are in Division 3. That wouldn't make sense. We wouldn't have jumped 2 divisions unless because 92 was the year the Premier League started, wasn't it? Unless Posh, of course, had been in Division 1 now for the second season, because I think in those early 90s we had a couple of 3 seasons in Division 1 before eventually being relegated. And I remember going to nearly every home game of the relegation season, because I saw like Newcastle, I saw Leicester, West Ham, some really big teams, Birmingham, with Barry Fry in charge. They were quite a big team at the time, and so I saw quite some big teams. I just try to sort of think, Cambridge were in our league, they were a much better team than us actually, back then. Watford, I think I remember Watford because I think that's either where Charlery went or where he was at the time, and he came back to Posh. Yeah, and then Middlesbrough, Wolves, and say West Ham. No, Leicester though, they must have been in Division 2 at that time. Let's have a look. Leicester. No, was they in the Premier League then? They definitely weren't down here. Anyway, not to worry. So still no one buys our players. So again we move on. And yet again we will remain. Oh, it's the big. Well, it's not the big one for Newcastle, but it's the big one for the manager. Oh, Paul Rayner has a real chance in the first minute. He's gone round Cernacek. Oh, and he's missed. Well, there you go. Newcastle survive. Oh, it's a goal for Cambridge this time. Well, volleyed home, and it's scored by T. Dennis. Tony Dennis. Here's Kavanagh. First goal for Newcastle. Newcastle hit back straight away. He finishes well, actually, to be fair to him, near post. And it's Newcastle 1, Cambridge United 1. Rob Lee's fouled in the box. Penalty given. Andrew Cole. Oh, Vaughan saves it. Well, can you believe it? Andrew Cole missing from 12 yards there. Well, in all fairness to Cambridge, they're the first team that have pushed us this season. Rob Lee's having a 4, Boucham a 3. Oh dear, it's not going well. They're having a half decent time of it. Who have they got in their team? Vaughan in goal. I don't know. John Sheffield is the Cambridge goalkeeper that I remember. Cheatham, don't know. Yates, don't know. Heathgate, Kane, Bartlett, Clayton. Steve Claridge, I know him. Paul Rayner, I know him. I think he had a loan spell at Posh. And then Steve Butler and Carl Ledbetter. Yeah, so second half, it's Watson with a good chance for Newcastle, but he's tackled and Cambridge are holding on here at St James's Park. Come on, we can't drop points against the Scummers. Here's Howie, but his shot is now saved. Well, it's a goal for Newcastle this time, placed in off the post, and it's scored by Andrew Cole, who makes up for his penalty miss. And it's Gavin Peacock now who's clean through. And he squanders the chance, but Newcastle are starting to run riot with these Cambridge players. The attempts on... Oh, here's Rob Lee. Goal for Newcastle. It's 3-1 now. Cambridge have run out of steam and Newcastle have weathered the storm from Cambridge. The Cambridgeshire club have come to Newcastle and their day out has been spoilt in the end. Here's Gavin Peacock. Oh, shoots wide. So unlucky. And the game does peter out in the end, but 22 chances to their 5, and they got those 5 in the first half. Cambridge came here, they set their stall out early on, they scored an early goal in the first 2 or 3 minutes here at St James's Park, but it wasn't enough as Newcastle equalised before half-time, and then in the second half continued to show their dominance towards their lesser opponents, and in front of 13,346 people, Newcastle won the game by 3-1. Right, hopefully Tommy Watson will be back. No, not Tommy Watson. What's his name? I forget. Tommy Wright. That's his name. Yeah. So the Vidi printer is just running through the results here. It's the only thing about this game, the Vidi printer does go on for a bit long. But it's not too bad. Man United 0-0 with Ipswich. No 9-1s this time. Was it 9-1 or 9-0? That must have been around 93-94 as well. So Reading and Stoke 1-0. I'm looking for Villa had a good win away at Tottenham. Here we go, Division 1. Charlton 3, Peterborough 0. Well, there you go, Posh are back to normal. They had 2 good results, a draw away to Oxford and a win against home to Derby, but straight back to normal against Alan Kirbishley. Well, was Alan Kirbishley in charge in 93 at Charlton? He might not have been. He might have still been playing for West Ham at that point. Let's have a look at the West Ham team and we'll find this out. This is the bit where it takes ages. Come on, just move on. I won't always watch this, by the way. I will, sort of after this probably episode, I will edit the video printer out, because like I say, it does take a while. Oh, Leicester are here. I thought Leicester were in Division 1. I thought I did see them, because I'm fairly certain that some point in that season Steve Claridge moved from Cambridge to Leicester. I might be wrong, but I think so. Tommy Wright resumes training. Come on, bid for my players, bid for my players, bid for my players. Please, please, please. Let's have a look at the league table. Oh, still top, 2 points clear of Wolves. Charlton are there. We're a posh mid-table. We'll be happy with that sort of finish at the end of the season. We're a Cambridge. Cambridge were in the playoffs. Doing very well, Cambridge. That was actually, to be fair, that was probably why they did give us a pretty tough first half, but they fell away sort of quite badly in the second. West Ham now then is curbishly listed as a player. No. Can you look at it? Billy Bonds is the manager, right? So if we find Charlton, is Kirbish? He is manager. Oh, only 36. So he must have gone there as a player manager. Very good. All right. Top goal scorers early doors. Rob Lee with 5, Andrew Cole with 3, Graham Kavavana with 1. Bit disappointed that Bouchamp hasn't scored yet, but maybe he just needs a bit of time to settle. Coca-Cola Cup first round. The results for Week 8, Season 1. Coca-Cola Cup. Bradford City 1. Blackpool 1. Brighton of Albion 2. Mansfield Town 2. Walsall 3. Plymouth Argyle 3. Hull City 2. Wrexham 0. Hartlepool 2. York City 0. Bristol Rovers 2. Stockport County 1. Shrewsbury Town 2. Scarborough 0. Reading 0. Bristol City 1. Exeter City 2. Rotherham United 0. Preston North End 1. Luton Town 3. Southend United 1. Rochdale 2. Wigan Athletic 1. Oh, I didn't quite get that in time. I used to love that on a Saturday. If Posh were away, you'd watch Grandstand about sort of 4:30, 20 to 5, and then wait for the classifieds, the video printer, and then the classifieds, Des Lynham. Very, very good. I've got quite a few players called up to international squads there. No one bought my players again. We need to check on the goalie though. How is he doing? Oh, he's a long way from being match fit. Oh, now Steve Watson's out for 3 weeks. Oh dear, and we are going away to Barnsley by the looks of that. So, Steve Watson, what number was Steve Watson? Was he number 2? He was number 3. So out comes Watson, in comes Scott. Otherwise we're unchanged. Tommy Wright, as you know, he's not improved. Okay, that's fine. Away at Barnsley, here at Oakwell. It's going to be just like watching Brazil, apparently. As long as you refer to Newcastle as Brazil, of course. Gavin Peacock race is clear. It's a goal for Newcastle. His finish is superb. Of course it is. So Gavin Peacock gives Newcastle an early lead here at Oakwell. Steve Howie clean through. Oh, he's wasted the chance. So here we go. We're still playing away here. It's Rob Lee now with a good chance. But his shot is smothered. Newcastle being very wasteful. Here's Bouchamp. He round the goalkeeper. And he scores his first goal for Newcastle since his £170,000, £80,000 move from Oxford. Whoop. Double clicked. Didn't mean that one. So, Davis is clean through. It's a goal for Barnsley. His finish even is clinical. Barnsley are right back in this, and here's O'Connell. He's put it past the keeper. It's 2-2. Oh, Brazil are coming back Here's Biggins, sorry. Oh, but his shot is saved. Well, Newcastle from absolutely dominating this first half. Andy Liddell coming on there for Neil Redfern. Or here's Gavin Peacock. It's a goal for Newcastle, and Newcastle have retaken the lead here at Oakwell. A good goal. It's Gavin Peacock. It's Andrew Cole now. He's through on goal. Oh, he's missed the target. Well, I apologise, by the way, if you can hear my chair in coming over the microphone. For some reason, it's developed a squeak in the last 10-15 minutes. Well, this morning, really. But I haven't noticed it until just then when I rocked backwards. So the video printer, today's results. The Premier League, Arsenal 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0, Manchester City 0, Everton 1, Blackburn Rovers 2, Sheffield United 0, Portsmouth 1, Tranmere Rovers 0, Stockport County 0, Port Vale 1, Liverpool 1, Ipswich Town 1, Cambridge United 3, Millwall 3, Norwich City 2, Southampton 0, Burnley 1, Reading 1, Hartlepool United 1, Chester City 0, never heard that on the BBC, Manchester United 1, Leeds United 1, Grimsby Town 2, Middlesbrough 1. Of course, the proper way to do it is when the results come up on the next place, when it goes to the classifieds, is to do it from there. But it would take too long for me to read out all of the leagues and all of the scores in that way. Drop a comment, of course, if you want me to, because I don't mind. But I'm not going to for this one, just in case. Alright. I think we should probably end the first video on this series here, because it's been going on for a while now, and we've got into the new season, and we will see what happens. Come on, someone. Oh, Sheedy's contract's expired. He might not want to sign now. No, Jeff Horsfield. Sheedy. We'll quickly just do this because we don't want to lose no one for free. There he is. Renew contract. 1 year, take 2. Yeah, he accepts 2. Okay. I know he's on the transfer market, but like I say, we don't want no one to go for free. Come on, we need someone to leave. We need a space. 82, he's coming back. Yeah, anyway, like I say, I think we'll leave this first episode here. And it has been a good first episode. Hope you've all enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks very much. Bye for now.